Hi team. So another great question that I get asked all the time is, as a leader, what are the key performance indicators, the KPIs I should be looking at? Now, if you ask an accountant this, they'll say to you profit and gross margin and all sorts of ratios. While those are all great things to look at, they measure things that have happened in the past. And I am a big believer of saying, if that's the outcome you want, what are the metrics that feed into that outcome? And for me, as a leader, you'd want no more than 4. But 2 of those 4 are always the same, and I hope you can guess what they are, but I'm going to give them to you now. The first one is you want a metric on your team. How aligned, how engaged is your team? And there's a really great survey that Gallup has called the Gallup Q12, and it's a series of 12 questions, and it measures the level of engagement of your team, whether they are engaged, actively engaged, whether they're disengaged, or actively disengaged. There's a difference between disengaged and actively disengaged. Actively disengaged people are actually working against you in your business. So as a leader, I want to know how engaged my team is, and in those 12 questions, you can drill down on the results and see whether there's an individual or actually some of the questions where overall we score low. The key when you conduct the Gallup Q12 is to go back to your team with the results. Don't go back with a board-driven or a leadership team-driven solution. Go back to the team and say, hey, we're good here, but we're not good here. We want to get better. How do we do that? And involve and engage them in that conversation. The second metric I want to know is how my customer experience is. How is my customer satisfaction? And the best metric that I like is Net Promoter Score, which many of you should be familiar with. Many of the large organisations use it now, and it's simply a question on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely am I to recommend XYZ Limited to a friend or colleague? If you score 9 and 10, you're a promoter. If you score 7 and 8, you're a passive. And you score 0 to 6, you're a detractor. And of course, as business leaders, we want to know what our customers think. And if you get an 8 out of 10, traditionally you'd think that was good. But the research shows there are only 16%, 7s and 8s, who score you 7 and 8, they're only 16% likely to reuse and recommend you. 0 to 6s, 0%. 9s and 10s, just over 60% likely to reuse and recommend. So obviously you want to create 9s and 10s. But the beauty of the Impious, it's a forward-looking metric. If you're scoring over 60, 65, so it ranges from plus 100% to minus 100%, if you're plus 60 to 65%, you're likely to grow. Anything under that, you're likely to stay the same or actually shrink. So as a leader, 2 key metrics I want to know: how my team is, how engaged they are, and what are my customers saying. And of course, you can make those a little more detailed, where you can drill down on the answers and ask a couple of other questions to get a little bit more data, to get a little bit more detail. Remember, go out there today, smile at everybody you meet, say please and thank you to everybody you meet, and be interested versus be interesting.